Good morning, traders. This is Robert. Hopefully you guys are having an awesome week. And so today we are going to look at what the market opportunities are. And first off, I normally say when you're starting out in this business, make sure that you open the economic calendar, get to know what's happening in that particular day. And so let's have a look at what we have currently. So we are going to look at the opportunities that were there during the Asian session. For example, earlier we had at 3:30, we had the employment change data that was coming out from Australia, and the numbers came in negative, which portrayed that there was a negative change in the number of people who were employed. So that meant it was a challenge for the AUDUSD, and we can see the AUDUSD reacted accordingly. And then also the unemployment rate came down lower, which was a positive. But then again, I think the employment change was more negative, because look at this, the previous number that was expected was 20.6K, but it came out as 6.7K. That's a huge difference, so which led to all this. So later today at 3:30, we also have an opportunity, especially for us traders. We have the unemployment claims. So basically, as a trader, you should be sure that when such data is coming out, especially the ones with the red folder, there'll be some volatility in that market. So we expect to see some movements on the market. And basically, as a trader, this is where you have to weigh the options. Will I be in that market? Will I not be in that market? So remember, at the end of the day, fundamental news at times come to validate the technicals. Yeah. So you must be looking at the longer term trend. What's the trend saying? And this is where you're able to project your analysis maybe from H4 daily, the weekly and the monthly. So this is interesting data that will be coming out. So the consensus is that the numbers will be 210K. So when the numbers come out, let's say 209, right? So that means it will be lower. So we expect the dollar to strengthen. If the numbers come way above 210K, then of course that means a lot of people have claimed that they are unemployed, and that means basically the interpretation of the investors is that the economy is not doing well because it's not able to create jobs, and that's why you have a higher number. So you'll expect the dollar to tank in that particular scenario. But then again, what's interesting now today is that we have the Fed Chair Powell speaking later today. He will be speaking at the Economic Club of New York. There'll be a luncheon, and now this is where we will expect volatility, because the US economy, there's a whole lot of conversation with regard to the interest rates hike, and this is the guy who makes that decision, of course, consultation with the rest, but he's more of the spokesman, right? So we expect to see a lot of volatility during this whole conversation during the luncheon, and this is where you as a trader just make sure that you know where you stand when it comes to your positions, right? So if, for example, you feel that you're in a position and you feel that you're comfortable with the profits you have, and maybe you do not want to expose your account to further risks, then you can close your positions. If you feel like you want to take advantage of that volatility, please do. We normally say at the end of the day, make sure that your risk management is on point, because that's really what matters as a trader. You must have the ideal risk management so that you're able to navigate through the volatility periods. So we expect to hear what the Fed Chair will be speaking with regard to increase in the interest rates, or maybe the hikes, or maybe they're slowing down. So it's all up to Powell to give us this later at 7 p.m. So we normally say that as traders, make sure that when you wake up, please guys, make sure that you're looking at the economic calendars. There's no reason as to why you should be caught off guard, and yet we have these tools for you to check out, right? So just make sure that you have that. You're either using the Forex Factory, you can even look at my FX book, whichever economic calendar that you're using, just make sure that you're up to date and know, because we found situations where like traders are in good positions, right? And then all of a sudden there's that news that comes out, and all of a sudden you are blue and then you are red, and you find guys, worried and scared because they don't really know what happened. But basically, if you attend the FX Pesa Academies every Thursday, as part of the risk management, we normally talk about the fundamental analysis, right? Where we're able to look at the fundamental angle, the political, socioeconomic events that happen, that will be happening. For example, right now, if you look at what's happening in the world, the whole Hamas and Israeli situation, those are things that, they are more political, right? And they have an effect maybe on the oil industry. So these are things that as a trader, you should take note of. With that regard, let's have a look at our charts and see the potential possibilities there could be in the market. Before I go to the charts, I want us to look at a conversation behind cryptocurrencies and also the current economic state in the US. So there's a hedge fund trader whom PTJ, who is one of my favorites, right? And on Tuesday, he had a discussion, and he was talking about the weak fiscal position of in the United States. So this is what he said. He said on Tuesday that it is difficult to invest in stocks given the current geopolitical risks and the weak fiscal position of the United States. So basically what he's saying is that the geopolitical risks here, we are looking at, of course, the Ukrainian-Russian war, which is quite volatile, considering that Russia is, a nuclear power. And then also we have now the Israeli Hamas situation, which could bring in the Arab countries into the whole mix, So the United States finds itself in a situation where, like, at the same time, back at home, they're in so much debt, right, as compared to the GDP. So Jones, the founder and chief investment officer of Tudor Investment Corporation, said that the war in Ukraine and the rising tensions between the US and China are creating a lot of uncertainties for investors. Remember, China is also has always wanted to get into Taiwan. So we have almost a situation where the world's police, the US, is looking at a possibility of a third war opening in between China and Taiwan. So you can see how stretched the US government is. He also noted that the US government debt to GDP ratio is at an all-time high, which concerns long-term economic growth. So we all know there was the ceiling that was raised some time back, and this is creating a situation where ordinarily it means debt has crippled almost the US government, right? So it's a challenging time to want to be an equity investor and in US stocks right now. So John said in an interview with CNBC, John said he's more interested in investing in assets and related to the stock market, such as commodities and real estate. He also said he's bullish on Bitcoin. This is where maybe crypto heads are here up in the arm saying, hey, finally, a hedge fund guy is saying that he's interested in cryptocurrencies, which he sees as a hedge against inflation and other economic risks. This might be the most threatening geopolitical environment I've ever seen. So, I mean, this is a supremo in the hedge fund business, and he's saying that it's the most threatening geopolitical environment he has ever seen. That tells you we are in uncharted territories. As interest costs go up in the US, you get in this vicious cycle where higher interest rates cause higher funding costs, cause higher debt issuance, which cause further bond liquidation, which cause higher rates, which put us in an untenable fiscal position. So basically, today we're waiting for that news from Jerome Powell, who will be giving a position on whether, or what's the outlook of the US economy. And then maybe from his talk, then we should be able to decipher and say, maybe, there are further interest rate hikes, or there's a pause. When we see a pause, maybe then we'll start seeing the dollar weaken. If there'll be an increase in interest rates, then the dollar will strengthen. So these are things that there's that uncertainty in the market. So the interesting thing was on Bitcoin. There's also another guy called Larry Fink. He runs the biggest asset management firm, BlackRock, $10 trillion assets under management. And this is what Larry also had to say. There was a rally on Monday where everyone had expected that BlackRock ETFs had been approved by the regulators. But what's interesting is that in June, Fink said Bitcoin was comparable to digital gold, which served as an alternative to the government-controlled currencies of the world. I mean, this is a guy who has investments in almost all major companies in the world, talking about Bitcoin. And what's interesting is that down here we can see in 2017, Fink was so against Bitcoin, calling it an index of global money laundering. But now you can see there's this whole anticipation by Bitcoin heads that, you know, if the BlackRock ETF is approved, then it could unlock so many opportunities in the crypto market, especially the Bitcoin market. So there's a whole interesting outlook when it comes to this industry. And maybe let's have a look at some of these charts so that we're able to look at all the different opportunities we have today that maybe as traders we could maximize on. Yeah, so we'll start off by maybe USDCAD. We can see the USD, the loonie, as it is called. It's been on an upward movement. So maybe we could see this trade hit the monthly high. So this is an opportunity, a position that you could probably be looking at. So this could probably be an outlook, a bullish outlook on this particular currency. So that maybe we could see the formation of maybe a double top when the market comes to test that monthly high. So that is an area that maybe as a trader you could be looking into and see whether that works for you. Now, when you look at how the market tested a certain zone here, I think it was last week. Yeah, last week. No, last month, sorry, last month. So you should note that at the end of the day, this market will always try and test areas of liquidity, you know, areas of support, areas of resistance. And that's why in this particular area, we are looking at the high of the month as a possible area that USDCAD could be headed to. So these are opportunities as traders we should be looking at. Once again, make sure that when you're trading, you're using confirmations. You don't just trade based on one particular confluence. They must really line up so that you're able to have a high probability trade. So let's look at maybe GBPUSD. GBPUSD is also a currency that has been quite good, especially on our end. And if you're looking at possibilities, still screaming bearish. So what we can see is that this market tested this former support over here. So if you were to do this, let's draw this former support. So we can see this market particularly went to this particular area. Hit this area late, and then we can see that drop. So this was the earlier support that now turned into resistance, and we can see after that the drop. So some other area we could see a possible support maybe on GBPUSD will probably be here. So that presents also a support area. So if we go to lower time frames, let's say H4, we should see that as a possible area that GBPUSD could be headed to. And maybe from there, then based on confirmations, or maybe some, you know, as a trader, like I've said, you should look at what it is that before you take that buy or sell, what's the confirmation that you look at. So when it gets to those particular price zones, you can see the market react to either the buyers over there, or maybe you could see a continuation of the sellers. So moving forward, let's look at AUDUSD. AUDUSD is also a currency pair that is headed to a particular support area here, because we can see from this chart the low of the month, October's low, which is down here. So you can see that area was tested. The low of the month was tested, and then we had some kind of bounce of price, and then this market is probably headed to this low also once again, and then from there maybe you could see the formation of maybe a triple W pattern if it's for reversal. But then again, if you look at maybe higher time frames, we should probably see where the market could probably be headed to. Let's look at maybe a possible area that is not so far-fetched, but it's possible. The low of 2022, these lows are areas where the market tends to hit. So you could see that area 61, 68. That is around, I think, 116 pips away. So 116 pips away to the low of that last year's low. So that could also be an area where you could be looking at opportunities. Yeah. So let's also look at what gold has been doing. I know we've looked at the analysis on gold, how it reacted to price, especially when we had that attack. We remember we still have a gap here, and then we can see the market has been rallying towards the upside, because remember, gold is a safe haven pair in times of turmoil, when there's political instability, when there's wars. Most investors tend to rush to gold, and so whatever uptick we can see here is all as a result of investors having that uncertainty angle. And now remember, we've just seen the conversation from Larry and also PTJ talking about Bitcoin as the digital gold. So this is where, like, as a trader, you should always be looking at those opportunities and seeking, maybe, and those are offerings we have. We'll be looking at BTC. Actually, let's have a look at BTC right now and see how it's been faring. Now, if you look at BTC earlier this week, during that rumor, there was that uptick towards this price level. If we go to, we can see this week to the high, this high, it went to test a bearish order block, which was this candle over here, right? So we can see price came to this particular area, and then sellers push the market down. So this is an interesting position when it comes to BTC, especially now that the hedge fund world and the big asset managers are looking into it. So as a trader, you need to be constantly looking for opportunities. We always say in trading, you keep on learning each and every other day. So perfect, you could be the most experienced guy, but then again, continue looking at the market, because we always say the markets are dynamic. They're never static. They're always moving. They're always opportunities. So always be up to date and make sure that maybe you're taking advantage of these market moves. So let's look at also maybe USDCHF and see how USDCHF has been performing. So USDCHF, this is where we are, and we can see that downtrend. But then again, we can see if let's look at higher time frames, monthly. So if we go to maybe the daily, we will see something here. This is a possible area that we could see this market go to. Let's see, let's mark it out. So if you look at this particular area, looks like a possible support area. So maybe during today's news, if the USD comes out negative, and that will mean that maybe there's a pause on the rate hikes, yeah, then we could see a move towards this area, this particular test of this area, support area. That's a possibility. But then again, as a trader, or before you make that decision, you must be looking at your trading plan and see the opportunities therein. Also, I think, yeah, that's a possible area that we could see this particular USDCHF go to. We can have a look at NASDAQ. So of course, tech companies in the US, we're expecting next week Microsoft to be giving out where they'll be sharing their earnings. So this is also a possible area that we could be looking at, especially on this particular index. So let's look at this price level. So that's an area, there's a possibility. And then also it coincides with the low of the month, right? So October's low. So we could probably see this market test this low over here. And also we can see last month's low was also this particular was also here. So we can see the market this month almost hit the low of last month, but then again after that buyers came in. So that tells you there's some support around this area, and that could also be an opportunity for traders to look at and see if that's something that they could go into. Of course, remember, plan your trades and trade the plan. Let's look at Euro USD. Euro USD is also providing a particularly interesting setup. So we could map out the low of the month, which is here. So there's a possibility if let's say Powell is still bullish with regard to hike rates, then we should see the dollar strengthen, and the impact will be that Euro USD will drop. So this is a possibility of the market dropping from current levels to maybe 1.0447. That's around, I think, 92 pips away. So these are possibilities that where we could be seeing today as we wait for those news. Remember, you also have the unemployment claim. So all those are particularly interesting setups that we have today. Let's look at USDJPY and see how it's faring. USDJPY has been on an upward trend, so we should probably see this trade. Probably it's headed to this high of last year. We should probably, let's map it out and see. That's the high it's headed to. Probably that's around, I think, 220 pips away. All right, so yeah, so it's always good for us as traders to understand that the market will always provide opportunities. What you as a trader need to do is identify areas of support and resistance, look at higher timeframes to probably look at where the market is headed to, and then just wait and click those buttons. So that's USDJPY. So it provides opportunities, right? Rallies, and basically the Japanese economy is really what's driving USDJPY. Yeah, so let's look at US TRY, the Turkish lira. This is a currency that has been dishing money, for lack of a better word, from 2019. So if you look at a line chart, we can see that uptrend that has been on that particular asset. So just you can imagine someone who invested in the Turkish lira at the bottom of 2019, probably around here, you know, and they were position traders. They've been milking this currency dry, literally. So Those are some of the things that probably I wanted to cover today. And let's look at some of the questions that you guys have and probably get to answer most all of them. Hello, teacher Mbogo. Hi guys. Morning, hi. Tuned, awesome guys. About yesterday's evening class, kindly we need clear information. Yeah, we had a technical hitch, but I'll be doing it today. Yeah. Sorry for that, guys. Tech problems, yeah. But we'll sort it out. Is it prudent we trade after Powell's speech? This is where as a trader you'll make a decision. There are some traders will say trade 1 hour after the news has settled. Then the others will jump in right away, you know. So just make sure that I'm sure you have a trading plan that tells you buy under these conditions. Please observe your trading plan. That is what will give you consistent results moving forward. What of Euro USD? Mercy, I think I've covered Euro USD. We've seen those possibilities of market testing the low of the month. So kindly have a look at that. Anyone with a question? Any other question? So guys, make sure that you're visiting our satellite offices for physical classes. If you're not able to attend, make sure that you're watching some of the pre-recorded videos that we have on the FX Pesa YouTube channel. We also have the online classes that happen every Monday and Tuesday. And then we also have the advanced classes that happen Thursdays. So like today on a Thursday, everyone who has a link will be attending the advanced classes. So if you're struggling in your trades, make sure that you're looking at that, and you'll definitely get to learn more. Otherwise, guys, cheers. Yes, maybe someone has called out my name. Could you possibly show us on a chat how you're coming up with chart analysis? So let me do this. Okay, so basically when you're trading, what you do is that you make sure that you look at the trend. Have a look at the long-term trend. Maybe if you're going to, let's say the daily. Once again, this is where I normally say you must identify the kind of a trader you are. Are you a scalper? Are you an intraday trader? Are you a swing trader? Are you a position trader? So, and there's an article on our Twitter page where we've said, what type of a trader are you? Kindly go check out that so that you're able to understand the kind of a trader you are. So if you know that, let's say you're a day trader, maybe you'll want to look at H4 so that you're able to analyze trades from H4 moving down to maybe H1. That's where probably you will see some trade setups, and then maybe enter on M15 or even M5. If you're a swing trader, of course, you'll want to look at the daily, the monthly, the weekly at times, so that you're able to probably check out setups on 4-hour chart, and maybe enter on H1, M30 or thereabouts. And then, of course, if you're a position trader, you're looking at higher time frames. So you're looking at the monthly, weekly to determine the trend, maybe the daily for setups, and then entry maybe on H4 or thereabouts. So it's ideal that you get to know some of these things. And this is where, like, when you're crafting your trading plan, have that in mind, that not everyone is patient enough to hold a trade for like a week or even, let's say, even a day. There are people who just want to trade seconds or even minutes. That tells you you're a scalper. So if you're a scalper, you have no business going to the monthly chart. Yeah, so just check out trades from maybe farthest maybe H1 so that you understand the trend of the day, or even M15, and then enter maybe on M1 or even M5, but mostly entries from M1. Yeah, the time is at 8. So I hope today won't have those challenges, because I think it was sorted. That's why I'm able to hold it. I was able to hold this session today. So we've sorted out that technical hitch we had. So we'll have that repeat today. And maybe actually it will be a good time, because we'll discuss what has happened. the news, the unemployment claims, and also the Fed Powell speech. Otherwise, thank you guys for attending. Have a peaceful day and the rest of the week. Tomorrow ni Mashujaa Day. You're all heroes. So keep at it. Yes, it's on YouTube, Jay. Thank you guys. Cheers.